I've always had the Indonesian flag, but I've never stood on the podium with the Indonesian flag behind me. So I said, okay, I'm going to be world champion. I'm going to stand on the top step of that podium, and it's going to be an Indonesian flag behind me. So when I was younger, I lived in the village with my mum. I spoke Indonesian before I spoke English.
Yeah.
I went to school, so when we went back to Melbourne, I went to school, and the teachers actually told my mum that I had to stay back a year because I couldn't speak English because I kept speaking Indonesian. I found out the news in October 2017 that my dad lost his job. From that time until April or March in 2018, I spent trying to find sponsorship, and I finally found a sponsor. I went from door to door. I cried so many nights because I thought, what am I going to do? How am I going to be an F1 champion?
Bangga nggak Bu dengan anaknya?
Apa yang diceritakan Luis tadi,
Bangga.
dan itu memang terjadi.
I cry.
I keep saying, you my real hero.
Luis Leeds, pembalap berusia 19 tahun berdarah Indonesia dan Australia, sempat menjadi perbincangan hangat ketika Kumparan melakukan wawancara eksklusif bersamanya. Kali ini Luis Leeds bersama ibunya Maria Parker kembali ke studio Kumparan dan berbincang bersama kami setelah 2 bulan yang lalu bertemu dengan Kementerian Menteri Pemuda dan Olahraga. Luis, how did the meeting happen? And did it come up with anything, or did you have any answer from the minister at that time?
The first one was really good, very productive. They expressed their interest to support me in my ambition to be a Formula One world champion. Unfortunately, everyone knows what happened after that meeting, but I'm here back in Indonesia to follow up and make our dreams into a reality.
Okay, so since the last time we put up your video in our YouTube, you already got 228,000 views.
Yes.
So that's a lot of people watching your interview. We also have a lot of comments about it. Most of the people though say that you're not supposed to come back to Indonesia and you don't have to come back here. Why don't you just stay in Australia and have all the benefits that the country offer? Why do you want to try at least to come to Indonesia?
There are so many reasons. You know, I could sit here all day and talk about why I love Indonesia and why I was inspired to return home. The biggest one was when my grandpa got sick a few years ago. You know, it was a really personal moment where I thought to myself, you know, my entire racing career, I've always had the Indonesian flag, but I've never stood on the podium with the Indonesian flag behind me. So I said, okay, I'm going to be world champion. I'm going to stand on the top step of that podium, and it's going to be an Indonesian flag behind me. So, you know, ever since then, that was late 2018 when I made the decision. My mum didn't believe me when I said I was going to race as an Indonesian. I finished the 2019 season as the Australian Formula 4 champion as an Australian, which ended it didn't end my relationship, but it was the end of me representing the Australian flag solely on the podium. So, you know, now it's my time to give Indonesia the recognition that I feel like we deserve. And yeah, here we are.
Ibu waktu itu kaget kan? Luis sempat menyatakan bahwa dia kaget. Kagetnya kenapa, Bu?
Kagetnya saya sendiri karena di Australia, ya, to be honest, lebih aman, lebih nyaman, lebih comfort, lebih everything dia punya support banyak di sana juga. Terus banyak malahan yang orang Indonesia sendiri akan melakukan segala upaya supaya bisa menjadi Australian citizen. Nah, ini anak saya kok malah pengen jadi Indonesia gitu. Saya jujur saya kaget. Banyak yang bertanya ke saya, apakah mama yang memaksa kamu gitu. Saya malah kaget, saya malah yang tanya sama dia, are you sure about this gitu. Tapi memang Luis ini nasionalismenya mungkin lebih tinggi dibanding saya. Walaupun saya cinta Indonesia juga, saya sangat cinta dengan bukti-bukti saya mengenai menyebarkan budaya di sana juga. Tapi untuk seanak seusia Louis, anak muda, dan dia punya masa depan yang cerah banget, dia lebih memilih Indonesia. Jujur saya memang sangat kaget. Dan kagetnya saya tidak bisa dikatakan dengan kata-kata, tapi semuanya saya serahkan ke Louis karena dia yang memilih, dia yang tahu konsekuensinya juga.
Talking about support, your fans actually made a petition, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you respond to that?
That was incredible. I remember I was in my room and I was about to fall asleep, and someone sent me the link on Facebook, and I saw it, and there was like sign a petition for Louis and his aspirations to be made note of to President Jokowi. And I'm looking at my phone like people did this for me, like, you know, and to see that support so quick after just, you know, after one visit to Jakarta, it was incredible. So, you know, it reassured me that this decision was the right one to make.
What makes you so sure that if you move to Indonesia, if you race for an Indonesian flag, you will bring more sponsors, and it will be alluring for the sponsor to fund you?
Well, I'm not sure if me moving to Indonesia is going to bring sponsors. That's not the reason why I'm moving to Indonesia. The reason why I'm moving to Indonesia is to make my grandparents happy, you know, to say thank you to my heritage and my history. I don't care about the sponsorship and who supports me, who doesn't. Of course, I want people to support me in a positive way, but it's not that situation that you're describing. Yeah.
So there's also some speculation saying that your career as a racer in Australia has already reached its highest point where you can't go any higher or in Australia. So that's why you come to Indonesia.
Nah,
and
fake
sort
news.
of like, yeah.
Fake news. I'm so this year the Australian Formula 4 champion. You know, in 18, 19, 20 races, I finished on the podium in every single race but one. I won half the races in the championship. You know, I raced with Red Bull in 2016, finished third in the British Formula 4 Championship against the best quality in the world. The person who won the championship is competing in Formula 3, about to go into Formula 2. That's the level I should be at. Unfortunately, the only reason now why I'm not in Formula 3 or Formula 2 is because my dad, who was funding my career, lost his job at the end of 2017. You know, unfortunately, motorsport is a very expensive sport. To compete in Formula 2 alone, the budget is around 2 to 3 million euro. You know, just for one season. Formula 3, it's around 1 million to 2. You know, it's not a sport where I can just put my hand up and race. You know, it's not how it works. It's, you need sponsorship, you need funding, you need support from, you know, the local government at times. It's very unique, and I think people can sometimes not understand the situation completely.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here telling you guys the facts.
Part of the comments on YouTube is that they're questioning whether you speak Bahasa Indonesia or
No,
not.
okay, I'll clear this up.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I lived in the village with my mum. I spoke Indonesian before I spoke English.
Yeah.
I went to school, so when we went back to Melbourne, I went to school, and the teachers actually told my mum that I had to stay back a year because I couldn't speak English, because I kept speaking Indonesian. You know,
Even
like,
speak Japanese.
when I was trying to read the alphabet, I wouldn't say E, I'd say E, like stuff like that. So, you know, now I can't, because I've lived in Australia since I was about 7 or 8 years old until now. I've lived in Australia. I want to come home. I want to live in Indonesia now. So I might have to get like a teacher to fast track my development. But yeah, Mum we try to speak at home, and I'm terrible. Terrible learner, because I'm always thinking about racing. So.
Yeah. You coming from Australia, thinking that we can always do that, but in Indonesia we always have a pessimistic way of thinking.
Right.
Yeah,
Do you see that?
Yeah.
I'm an optimist. Like everything I do, like even if I got a cup and there's no water in the cup, I still got a cup. So that's what I'm like.
So you're very optimistic and seeing it as this is a chance for you to prove that everyone can do anything.
Yeah. Well, this is my dream, to be an F1 driver, and nothing that gets in my way is going to stop me. You know, this is,
Yep.
I'm 19 now, I've been racing since I was 12. In 2015, I won the Formula 4 race at the Mexico Grand Prix when I was 15 years old. You know, I qualified on pole position, 1.4 seconds faster than anyone else on the track. 2016, I raced with Red Bull. You know, I left my friends and my family to live with a foster family when I was 15 years old, just to try become a Formula 1 driver. And at the end of the season, Red Bull said, sorry Lewis, you can't be on our program. You know, they gave me a 2-minute phone call after an entire year of commitment and support financially from my family, my friends and their support, and me. You know, like and even, you know, even after I was taken off the Red Bull program, I could have just said, oh, my dream's over, you know, I'm done. I'll give up, I'll just go back to school, I'll go party back home, be with my friends and family, you know, but I said like, no, that's not happening. I'm going to be an F1 driver. I don't care what anyone says. 2017, my dad put up so much money, you know, from the family, like that he had saved just to give me another opportunity, you know, and then throughout that year, he lost his job, you know, and that's not just, oh no, I can't race, that's, oh no, how are we gonna live? You know, that's, how does my brother, how does my sister go to school? You know, how do we put food on the table for everyone? That's, how do we pay the house? You know, all that sort of stuff. And I worked in a souvenir store just to help my dad try cover the costs, and you know, I barely made enough money. Like I didn't even make 1/100th of the money we needed to race, but I still did something, you know. And at the end of that year, at the end of 2017, I had no drive, as in I had no contract for 2018. I'm only 17, right? What do? I could have given up, but I kept going again. You know, it's okay, you guys shut the door on me, I'm gonna find a new door and open it. Now, I went from business to business. Like I wrote 200 emails to different companies to say, hey, support me. And you know, I found out the news in October 2017 that my dad lost his job. From that time until April or March in 2018, I spent trying to find sponsorship, and I finally found a sponsor after that entire time. You know, like I went from door to door. Yeah. I cried so many nights because I thought, what am I going to do? How am I going to be an F1 champion? You know, I am not from a wealthy family that can pay $2 million for me to race. I am from a village in Indonesia, from Pasco Vale South in Melbourne, Australia, trying to achieve a goal that very, very wealthy kids can't even achieve.
Bangga nggak Bu dengan anaknya?
Apa yang diceritakan Lewis tadi,
Bangga.
Dan itu memang terjadi.
I cry.
I keep saying, you my real hero.
Love you.
You my real hero. He never give up. He never quit. He will do everything. Dia masih anak muda, masih umur I remember perjuangannya dia untuk bukan hanya sekedar hobi ya, tapi memang perjuangan dia itu berat banget kalau orang melihat. Dia tidak hanya orang maju dapat duit, kemudian orang membayangkan racing itu olahraganya orang kaya yang mudah gitu ya. Tapi mereka tidak tahu perjuangan Lewis itu berat sekali. Dia kehilangan masa mudanya untuk gaul dengan anak-anak muda sebayanya dia pada saat dia harus year 11, dia harus pergi ke luar negeri sendirian. Bisa dibayangkan kan, masih ingat, sedih gitu kalau melihat dia racing. Saya bisa melihat dari TV, karena saya paspornya Indonesia susah banget ya, mau ke London ngurus visanya itu susah banget gitu. And kalau dia sakit, sedih banget sebagai ibu, saya jauh
Tapi hanya kita bisa berdoa saja. Perjuangan dia, kalau teman-teman tahu, pemirsa tahu, sangat berat. Tidak hanya mudah begitu saja. Sekarang kalau ada yang bilang, Louis mau ke Indonesia hanya mau mencari keuntungan atau hanya mau mencari sesuatu yang mereka sebenarnya tidak tahu perjuangannya Louis. Itu jujur sebagai ibu, ya saya tidak terima, saya sakit juga ya anak saya digituin, tapi mereka tidak tahu, biarkan mereka tidak tahu. Sekarang Louis menjelaskan, tidak mudah meninggalkan Australia juga ke Indonesia, tapi dia cinta sekali Indonesia, dia cinta keluarga saya, dia ingin membuat anak yang dibanggakan, dan orang harus tahu, he never give up, he never quit. Dan itu akan menjadi inspirasi buat anak-anak muda. It's just never give up, never quit. You can reach your goal, you can reach your dream, just never stop.
It's difficult to respond your statement. I have to cry. I have to appreciate you. Hopefully that you could contribute the best to our beloved country.